Last we left off, you had completed your month-long journey and had an evening to yourselves in Ironguard before traveling back to Karden in the luxurious carriages of Ludomir Nostrov. At first light, you set off at speed for Karden, and by midday, finally, had the chance to sit with your employer and leader of the Infinite Alliance. With him, you recounted your weeks-long adventures, sparing no detail, and in your explanation, combined with the visions received from the Divining Network's repair, he came to a dark conclusion. Hadar, the Dark Hunger has returned. Ludomir recounted the last time Hadar and his Voidspawn children plagued Vigil, an event known as the Incursion, how the world was nearly lost, and if it were not for the actions of the Prismic Society and the creation of a device known as the Genesis Cradle, Vigil would have been lost. Questions mounted the more you spoke, and Ludomir answered what he could, or what he was willing to lay bare. That he was once one of the members of this Prismic Society, that he, like all those former members, was blessed by a powerful connection to a cosmic power. These forces that govern the inner and outer workings of life in the material plane. And his connection grants him his immortality and an incredible healing factor, which he displayed to you in very dramatic fashion. Where the others ended up was not shared, however, he did promise to show you in time. More questions spawned. There were new prophecies to be deciphered. The question about how young Ursa Deverall may play into all of this, the strange power that she possesses, could be a newfound connection to the cosmic. What would happen if that were to fall into the hands of Hadar or his herald? And still many questions within your group that each of you are clinging to as time passes. Decrane's mysterious origins, where he wished to go now, and Decrane wondering personally, are your pursuers long gone or simply lagging behind? The twins' Fae connection and potential origins. How did Enid come to bear the training and marks of this mysterious feral creature from the Fae? How did you come to be here? What is happening with this Pale Court militia, hunting down prisoners and refugees and bringing them where? And all the while, this lingering presence of an all too familiar tale that seems to call to both of you. Finally, Andy's visions and these new prophecies bear similarities, but still so many aberrant paths and disconnections. Where do they all intersect? What does it all mean, and where is it all going to lead? Your days of travel passed swiftly, and before long you found yourselves rolling through the snow-dusted cobblestone streets of the capital city once more. You're led across the Pentagon Bridge back into the river ward, though the carriages do not bring you to the Queen's Gambit, perhaps as you may have suspected. Instead, they continue to climb through the ever-rising road up into the more aristocratic Mountward district of Karden. A quarter of an hour trek from where you kind of expected to stop. Though you note through the windows, you note massive manor homes, towering spires. You pass by a cathedral-like bank, a sprawling plaza full of statues and artistry, alongside college grounds, gilded storefronts with polished windows free of grime that the rest of the city seems to bear, before finally coming to rest outside a great walled manor, and the carriages cross the threshold of this impressive gate. The carriages approach the manor itself, but dip down to the right into a lower stable-like yard before settling beneath an overhanging section of terrace above. And your kind of coachman comes to the door and opens up and lets in cool Candorian air as he beckons for you to disembark from your journey. And we begin tonight.
Do we have to pay money to stay here? Is this a fancy inn?
The coachman does not answer and walks away.
Sir? Oh.
Are we just getting dropped off? Because this is where he gets dropped off, and okay.
Is this his house and we have to walk? We have to walk home now?
You guys kind of poke your heads out a little and look through the windows, and you do see Ludomir is leaving. And notably, for the first time since the conversation you had several days ago, you haven't had any interactions with him since. He's stayed secluded within his carriage, and each time the carriage has stopped for whatever reason over the day's journey, you never saw him leave his carriage, and had a vibe of maybe don't go bother him. So you haven't had any interactions with him, though he now disembarks from his carriage as well. Notably, he's had a cane and kind of has walked with this kind of walking stick before. Seems to be leaning on it a little heavier, almost adding in a little bit more of the elderly persona to his kind of outward
like
presence.
facade. Yeah.
A little bit. You know that there's not quite this old man to him. He is quite old, but he disembarks as you are all able to do so as well.
When you say disembark, by the way, do you mean like he's just going in a direction, or he's getting off of the carriage and he's
just getting out as you guys are all kind of popping your heads out? As you guys are kind of waiting, he turns to the coachman and kind of gives them a quiet couple of words, directions. Two of them begin to start unhooking all the horses and are leading them into the stables properly. The carriages are kind of set where they are. And as he finishes with them, he does make his way towards the four of you.
Okay, so stay. Okay.
Be cool.
My friends, I trust your travel here was comfortable, and I apologize for my seclusion in the day since we last spoke. Much has been on my mind, and many plans have been needed to be formulated. And in truth, I needed time to come to terms with the paths that now lie before us.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lovely trip, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
It is going to take some time to assemble what I need to best show you the past, to best bring you up to speed, so to speak. Travel is required, and particular items must be acquired as well. I wager roughly 3 weeks before our next engagement. In that time, I believe it will be best if it appears as to any outward eyes our engagement is complete. And if possible, to keep our distance from one another. Should the need be, you're free to access the Nexus at any point in time. You can leave word there for myself or for Isaac. And we will do our best to get you in the city. There are always ways to get to whoever we need to.
Okay, yeah, we can lie low for a little bit. We're gonna be inconspicuous, you know.
You have no need to be inconspicuous, but perhaps not are the wrong types of attention. I still believe that it is necessary to seek the answers that you do seek for your own personal questions, for the things that we have discussed. And in the path of the Watchers, in which I may not aid, that is a path that you will have to find for yourselves. This would be an apt time to try to do so.
Okay.
But enjoy the city. Enjoy the time that you have now. It will not be long before you will long for the days of quiet contemplation and freedom.
Okay, I mean,
at all.
Nudge you a little bit, give you a little bit of the elbow.
I mean, you've been here a long time. Is there anything we should check out? Tourist stuff or other things? Anything interesting? Anything we should maybe stay away from, other than the obvious?
That is a long list. Though I have my obvious bias towards the Hall of Antiquity. I think it is absolutely worth your time to explore without having to delve below and solve riddles and puzzles. However, there are taking a show at the Gilded Stage or at the Ascendant Arena if you're into such blood sport. shop to your heart's content and Quan Purse's allotments. There are many pleasures and things to see within the city and to enjoy. I give no restrictions of what you wish to do. You're free people to do as you wish.
Any recommendations on where we should stay? Like maybe the inn we first met at, or?
Again, it depends on what you are looking to spend. If you wish for an aristocratic type of rest, Fenrit's Rest is in the riverwood below. If you're looking for something a little more adventuring party adjacent, you have the Red Lion is a
I think
favorite.
we stayed there before. I think we liked that place. That was good.
Isaac often recommends the Red Lion. He's a fan of Nicandros, the proprietor. I believe that at least within Lake Ward and within the Merchant's Ward, there are dozens of options for you to explore.
Okay. We don't want to keep you for long. Thank you for that. Was the quickest journey I think I've ever had. Not walking around with 30 other people. Sorry, Kyle, remind me. Isaac went off, right?
Isaac left after, actually before you guys spoke with Ludomir. The morning after you guys left Ironguard, he had a conversation with Ludomir and then took off at speed, and you have not seen him since.
Okay. So there's no point in trying to get in touch with Isaac. Okay.
As things are kind of coming to a close, he gestures, actually kind of leads you guys through to the kind of back end of this kind of overhanging terrace, almost like into like what would be like an underground garage kind of like feel. And on this like stone wall at the back, he kind of taps a piece of stone, and a wall section just kind of slips in and away. And he gestures to it and says, if you follow this passage, it will lead you down one of the back alleys of High Street in the Riverwood below. I would recommend checking out High Street. It is, to your point, one of the touristy type of locations, if you're interested in such things. He pauses for a moment, almost like recomposes, like from like having casual conversation to like how he started of this kind of dour like memory, and he kind of halts himself for a moment. Keep safe, my friends. Most of all, be vigilant. The enemy that you have become entangled with has seen your face. In the moments it has spent in your company, it has already learned far more about you than you would care for it to know. It will find ways to use that against you. Even now, the agents of the Dark Hunger may be worming their way within this very city, ensnaring those who may serve the Elder's cause, and position themselves to upend your lives when it suits them most. So, be yourselves, enjoy your time, but be vigilant.
I'll turn to Nettie and go,
That's ominous.
Very true. Doesn't sound good either way.
Good is a matter of perspective.
Okay, well, let's check out this High Street, because it sounds kind of fun.
by the way, for some reason I was picturing this at night. What time of day is this?
It's about midday.
Okay, great. Now my whole worldview has changed.
Yeah, let's go shopping. Let's go check it out.
Actually, it might be closer to late afternoon, like headed towards evening, but not quite night yet.
Still shops open if we went to check out High Street?
You'd be fine.
Sweet.
He just kind of
Farewell, my friends. We will meet again.
Talk soon.
As you guys kind of begin to depart back this passage, he waits a beat, and as you guys are fully kind of in and away, you hear the shifting of stone behind, and suddenly a very, very dark tunnel surrounds you. It is like a 5-foot wide, just straight carved tunnel. You do see the faintest bit of light at the far end, but currently very, very dark in here. Some additional light from Ray probably gives a little bit of ambient light to aid your visual elements, but nevertheless, the last kind of look back towards Ludomir as well. The manor home is as opulent and as impressive as you can imagine, and as he kind of bids you farewell, you notice standing tall, no longer the facade of the old man. As much as he gave this be safe and be vigilant, he is still a very confident person, even around all this darkness and fear and worry talk. His confidence is yet to abate as you guys continue down this path.
Makes me feel a little better.
Through the tunnel, you guys slowly make your way to the other side, and there is kind of this just a barred, kind of grated doorway, essentially. It is locked, and it takes just a second for you to realize that it's locked from the outside, and without a keen eye, you wouldn't see that there is just a bolt that can be slid, but it doesn't appear like it should have a bolt. It's built to make it look like there's a handle to unlock, but doesn't actually do anything. It's all about a bolt. It's a false negative of the door, and easy enough for you guys to slip out into this alley. Snow gently falling, of kind of this back alley of a bunch of buildings, stone buildings, cobblestone around. There's a bunch of boxes and crates and barrels and things in the alley behind, but you hear kind of the faint hustle and bustle of the city beyond.
So what do you guys want to do first? Do you want to check out the street? Do you want to get a room first so we can put our stuff down? What do you guys think?
I mean, honestly, usually the first thing you do is find lodging, right? New place, make sure you have somewhere for your headrest, and then you can kind of explore.
I'm down.
I'm down with it. So, Crane, you look like you're itching to say something. What do you got going on?
I feel we should identify threats first.
We should identify what?
Threats.
The rats. Okay.
Welcome to the city. There are, this is the home of all the people we don't like.
We like Ludomir?
We like, no, we like Ludomir, but we also really don't like the people who are after maybe me and maybe you and maybe some other people. We just have to fly low a little bit.
We need to know where our threats are before we settle it. Otherwise, we're easy targets.
Maybe on the way to, looks at notes, the Red Lion, we could identify threats. You could be on high alert, but maybe ask us before you try and shoot someone.
And maybe we just don't shoot anyone here.
Oh, that's actually good. Yeah.
We're not supposed to draw attention to ourselves.
Yes.
And we're definitely just normal traveling people who absolutely don't do anything special.
Normal.
Average.
Boring.
Unremarkable. Actually, we came up with cool code names, so I was thinking I would call myself Rabbit while I was here. And Nettie, do you remember what yours was?
Girl Rabbit.
Yeah, yours was Girl Rabbit.
Right.
So if you need you guys could come up with nicknames too if you want.
I'm not very good at naming things.
Neither are we. That's a joke for trying to name this goddamn party, but that's okay.
A quick note as well for the Crane, which you would be well aware of. Open carry of firearms, super illegal. Like the most illegal, because there's one group in the whole city who's allowed to have these guns, let alone carry them. So you're going to need to cover that shit up. Otherwise, that fight we talked about is going to happen.
Give me a real short episode.
Slip it under my sleeve.
It won't end well.
Under my
Yeah,
sleeve.
absolutely. Easy enough for you to conceal at kind of still at arm's length if needed, but not in its holster, not obviously displayed. I will point out the reminder of the city. So Mount Ward obviously sits up a little higher, and the King's, the McCarran Hall sits up like way up high up in kind of mountain range looking down over the city, kind of comes down through Mount Ward. The River Ward and Lake Ward are in the same level as the rest of the city, though they are a little bit more affluent, they are richer. The River Ward, which you are currently in, is, and you're currently on, basically on in the alleys behind High Street, which is what Ludomir was kind of alluding to. As you begin to kind of make your way out into the thoroughfare, it is a double wide row of a long spread of very opulent looking shops and restaurants, cafes. There are art exhibits, and there's massive like fountains that are like all decked out and dressed up. However, before kind of getting more into High Street in this area, if you're headed towards the Red Lion, that is in the Merchants Ward. So it's a ways further into the kind of more into the heart of the city. The Merchants Ward is kind of way towards what would be the north side of the city, out of where you are now.
Based on how big the city is, how, like, if you were to walk from one end to the other, I guess just say like top to bottom, like how long of a walk is that?
Like from the front gate to McCarran Hall, or?
I guess we're never going to go more north than, like, more high than this. So I guess like here to like the furthest out, like just getting out of the city. Like how long is it to walk across the whole thing?
You're probably looking at like an hour. Okay. Like it's a big city, but it's not so big that like, you got to plan days of travel to get around here.
No, like within an hour, you can get to most places within the city.
In D&D terms, like this is a metropolis. It's a 150,000 plus people population, which doesn't sound huge to right now, but in a medieval setup, that is in the threshold of like a major metropolitan kind of lifestyle area. So yeah, like it's not. It's not going to take days. It's not going to take multiple hours. An hour could easily get you across. And if you really needed to book it, you could, in theory, do it in less time. But like an hour and change, probably, from like, this area through to the front gates. Getting up through like Mount Ward up into like McCarran Hall becomes a harder trek, simply because one, it's more uphill. It's literally part like kind of there's roads and stuff, but it's more uphill, so it slows you down. And two, security levels of guards and all these kinds of things to stop random folk from walking into the King's Hall.
So I guess if there's anything we want to do where we are here, we should do it now, because it might be kind of hard to get back in here.
The way post offices work here, Kyle, I know we had sent letters, but it's not like a letter would be waiting for you at the post office, or is that how that works?
It would be that, actually, yeah.
Okay.
So like it's more because you don't have a residence to be sent to. It would just go back to the post office in which you sent the original thing from. It would have a return to there. It didn't set a return. But
would that be on the way?
I'm trying to remember the timeline. You've been on the road now. It was like literally a month and change now since you left Karden, went to the Underdark, went out to Brundakiln, and then back. So travel for what you sent down to Marabella and back should be here, yeah, for sure. You would expect like that would make sense.
Nettie, we should definitely see if maybe our moms have sent a letter back to us.
Oh yeah, they might have done that by now. It's been a month or so.
I don't even know how long we were underground for. It's all a blur.
Notably, that was also in the Merchant's Ward.
And that's in the Merchant's Ward where the Red Lion is. So once we head up there, do you guys want to check out anything on this high street with all this fancy stuff?
The only thing I can think of is I kind of always need like really nice thread and silk, and we have some gold now, and maybe I should just grab that because we don't know if we're going to get back in here. But we don't have to RP that. I'm just going to find how much gold I have, Kyle, if you're okay with just like, can I find fancy thread somewhere?
Yeah, so here's what we will do for this leg of this part of on High Street. If there's anything specifically you're looking for, please go ahead and call that out, and then we'll have a specific role. Or if there's something just generically that you'd like to try and keep eyes and ears open for, we can do a separate role for that. If you're looking for something specific, it'll be investigation. If you're just generically looking for something, it's more perception. And that would include Ducrane if you were looking just for like threats, untoward eyes, that kind of thing. That would be perception or insight. I would throw as well if you wanted to. So Leah, investigation, Kev, perception or insight, your choice. Anything for our Harengon folk?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what we would. The only thing I think like we need, because like we were pretty low on potions / I don't think we had any potions or health items, because I feel like the last fight we did, we were pretty screwed in that department.
I think we're tapped on all potions. We have that like 1 a day thing where it can give us like
Can be
one potion a day, or like a beer a day or something like that.
Did we want extras?
I mean, it's worth checking for sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
just
here, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something like with those kinds of things, because it's magic technically. Like this city is like has the, or is that considered more herbal, Kyle?
Depends on who you're talking to. Depends on where you're shopping. So it would require an investigation or perception roll as well, just to see what is going on. And also, like, I'm going to do a little bit of describing what else you're seeing that may spawn additional questions or rolls or anything like that, but just to get a basis of what I can add in here. If you want to keep an eye out for, apothecaries or what would serve as potion shops in this area of town, you guys can also throw out perception or investigation checks, and everyone can start calling stuff out.
Perception for me.
I got a 16 for my investigation.
I got a 24 for my perception.
Wow.
Things are turning around, gang. Watch that.
I got 16 perception.
12, did you say, Kev, for you?
Mm-hmm.
Scott rolls the best he's rolled so far in this campaign in an off time.
Downtime.
Yeah, downtime episode.
So, as you guys begin to come in, and where this lets out is kind of on it, almost middle of High Street. So you are knowing that you need to head further east, and then we'll make your way down to follow the roads kind of north through to the Merchant's Ward. So you're leaving kind of part of High Street behind in the interest of headed towards the Merchant's Ward. So there certainly could be elements left here. But as you begin to walk through, as I kind of described earlier, this very affluent, very rich, aristocratic, and well-maintained section of the street, it's got a very high fashion, high fantasy motif, a lot of kind of marble and lighter stone. There's snow kind of dusting everything, but you can see the edges of a lot of the shops are gilded and either golds and then or accented with other gemstone and metals. The glass is very pristinely clean. There's very little grime. Like, a lot of attention and care is paid to the presentation of everything in this area. And to the point of presentation as well, banners and streamers line each side of the street, as well as crisscrossing through these large lanterns that are kind of hanging, oil-based lanterns that are being lit as you're watching time pass, and as you're making your way through the street, you're watching the lantern lighters go and begin to illuminate the various lanterns along the road, which gives like a very warm, Christmassy vibe to the overall feeling of this kind of walking down this street as snow gently falls. But the banners and the streamers and kind of tulle and everything, all these decorations, you see have a kind of a festival motif. There is a festival of first snow that you happen to be here on the first day of today. It is, there's nothing actively happening right now, but you're seeing like banners of, for festival of first snow. Like there's things that are kind of identifying the things to come, and you're seeing specifically kind of with the perception checks that you guys had rolled, looking for the apothecaries and looking for potions and just looking for other things that you're seeing around you. You're noting that there's a series of events that all happen through the Festival of First Snow that are being kind of marketed and shown here. There are plays that we put on. There's a parade coming in a couple of days, feasts that are being hosted at various temples, and kind of, all kinds of gatherings all around. Contests, snow and ice creation contests. There's a very big kind of fashion show that's happening, obviously in this area, is kind of like a major event. And all along the main street, kind of in the center thoroughfare, at least at 3 different points that you're seeing, where some of this light is coming from, where the lantern lighters are setting fire to. You see these massive fires, like bonfires, in the middle of kind of set up circle square areas where people gather and are kind of passing things out and talking. It just seems like gathering areas as people are coming together over this festival. As you guys are making your way through, no signs of anything that resemble your standard potion shop, but you are seeing places that are advertising that look like apothecaries or something like that are selling tinctures and balms and all these kinds of things. But you see a lot of like anti-aging and a lot of like trying to alleviate, the effects of old age, the wear and tear of just mundane life. Nothing that is of the adventuring interest.
Like a jade egg, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Salt, illuminated salt, all kinds
that appeals to the old rich folks.
Aromatherapies, all these kinds of things. So nothing that immediately grabs your attention in that regard. But there are lots of shops here, and potentially with a more directed question, a more directed kind of lead, you could see there being connections within these places that could lead you to these things. But at kind of a first glance, like walking through without making a more direct line of questioning and kind of pursuing something specific, nothing jumps out at you as you're kind of watching. And it's just a lot more activity and interest to have your eyes drawn to. DeCrane, as you're making your way along with the rest of the party, nobody here kind of gives you the vibes of watching you specifically, or nothing shadowy, nothing hanging from dark corners eyeing you in any way. And Andy, as you guys are making your way towards the end of High Street, where it will continue down and connect with the rest of kind of the main thoroughfare down towards the Merchants Ward, and continuing through. You do see there have been a number of like fabric shops and tailors and dressmakers and all these kinds of things, seamstresses, a number of them, quite a few. But as you kind of have looked in windows as you made your way, either a lot of them have been closed actually. In this time, they've just been closed, whether it's early in the day or you're not sure.
Festival
They've
day?
been closed.
Maybe festival day?
could be the numbers of reasons as to why. There doesn't seem to be anything weird about it. It's just they're closed. Some of them that were open just looked like they didn't have your quality of what you need specifically. However, there is one with the roll that you rolled called Silk and Splendor that seems to potentially have the higher quality things that you would be looking for. Looking through, it is a tailor's and dressmaker's shop, but it's a little bit more opulent. It's certainly larger than the others have been. It's like what would be like a double wide store. Like it is a wide, big place with very little inside, which gives you the like, this is a crazy expensive place. They're wasting so much space. And it's going to cost a fortune just to have this place. And they have nothing in it. Like, it's just giving you this element of like opulence and money. And when you're looking for the level of thing you're looking for, it certainly would make sense for this place.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably stop inside here. I'm not sure if anyone is interested or wants to look around. I just gotta see if at least they have what I'm looking for.
I'd be happy to just follow you around. I think things would be pretty expensive here anyways, you know?
The problem is I kind of need the expensive things.
Oh.
To like make... I like tap my spellbook. Sash.
To make your belt?
Yes. It's a very important belt. You've seen the thing. Okay. I'll just be a few minutes. I promise.
Okay.
I'll try to go inside and see if we get flagged immediately as someone who's going to try to rob the place slowly.
Are you going in solo? The three of you guys are going to wait outside and kick around?
It doesn't matter. People can come with me or people can stay.
I think I'm playing in this. I like the little snowfall. I think Ray and I would be enjoying the little snowfall.
For those of you outside, there are like all kinds of vendors who are selling like hot chocolates and like all these kinds of like warm hot ciders, and there's liquor and stuff as well. But I know most of you don't drink, so
I immediately head to the hot chocolate.
Follow after. That sounds right up our alley.
Yeah, there are all kinds of goodies out there to be sampled and bought. So as you guys pull away for that. Andy, you enter into the shop and there's a tinkle of a bell as it chimes as you make your way inside, and it kind of echoes off into this empty, large room. However, you do see there are several dresses in here that are on mannequins, two of which are in kind of completed states and are kind of more front-facing, beautiful. Like you can see there are gemstones, sapphires, and diamonds, like woven within the sleeves of like a very regal bearing Cinderella dress, like an impressive looking piece. Similarly, another one, though it has almost a little bit more military style to it, but is equally as adorned. Further in, you get more bits and pieces. There are like, shelves of fabrics that are laying over top of one another, and you're seeing kind of the different styles, colors, and all these kind of things. Currently, the style is very much in this first snow festival motif. However, you do, as you're kind of running your hands through some of these, you do feel some of the fabrics would be of the right quality. Like you just get a pretty good tangible sense of what it is you're looking for. You also get a pretty good sense that this is going to cost maybe more than what it normally would cost per your spell creation here.
Yeah, like I'd be overpaying.
Marked up.
Yeah.
However, you're in here for maybe 30 seconds looking and admiring and feeling this fabric before you hear the tap, tap, tap of high-heeled shoes making their way over the tiled floor, and kind of throwing a curtain open as she storms into this room. You see very tall, very lithe, very thin woman in like a black blazer, suit, with very wide open collar, but like wide, large lapels, earrings that are like dangling and like crystal gold and like very rich, very thin spectacles, and very sharp features. Notably a half-elf. You notice the kind of pointed ears, though not fully elven. And she has like a pad of paper and a large like quill with a very opulent kind of like feather that is just trailing crazily as she, without even looking at you, says, "We're closed."
The doors. God, your work is beautiful. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bother you. I'm trying to find some materials for projects I'm working on. Would this be somewhere when I'm looking for some really nice silken thread? Would this be somewhere I can source that in the future? I don't want to bother you today if you're closed.
She's not even really fully looked at you. Like she's just like sets the thing down and she's sketching, she's drawing, she scribbles it, she chucks the paper as you're talking. I
cannot help but try to get closer and try to see what she's working on.
You do easily enough. Like she's not hiding it. Like sketches of like what dress that she's trying to make, trying to find this style, and she sketches something she hates, it scribbles it out, chucks it over her shoulder. Finally, as you kind of finish and get to the counter the table that she's working at, and she finally kind of sets her quill down and looks up at you, and you watch this like frustrated, like she's about to chew you out for even like looking at her, and then the expression kind of drops for a second. She says, "My God, you're beautiful." She stands up and like looks at you.
I stand up a little taller. Thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm a shepherd, so around all over the place.
A shepherd?
Yeah.
Just wandering the countryside with these features. Look at these cheekbones. Look at your shoulders. You're so wide and so strong, but so feminine. It's gorgeous. Look at you. You would be perfect.
What? Okay, that sounds a little creepy. For what? Sorry?
Who do you work for?
Myself?
Who do you work for? No one with these features just comes into my shop looking for silk.
Okay. You know your clothes. Take 5 minutes to look at what I'm wearing. Take 2 seconds to look at. These are my clothes.
A brilliant disguise of someone who has never dressed themselves once. I understand what you're trying to go for here. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Is it Anton? It was Anton.
I don't know, Anton.
Eldros, that son of a...
Sorry, hi, Andy. My name's Andy. What's your name?
Make a persuasion check.
Come on, Andy, don't fuck this up.
I'm actually better at lying than I am at being persuasive. Okay. I don't remember what sorry, the tablet is super dead.
Plus 12.
Only a plus 1. So it's a 15.
Okay. You quickly gather...
I'm going to go ahead and roll my portents just in case. 1 second.
Yeah. You quickly gather that she was instantly offended by the fact that you didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
And what like got crazy angry and was like again about to like unleash on you before seeing that like you actually don't know who she is, that you are not a plant, you are not trying to, work for somebody else. Like she reads that through and then like takes just like a stunned kind of sit back and leans against her table and looks.
I'm sorry, I've only been in town for like an hour. We haven't been here long.
My darling, my name is Mistress Savine Rousseau. I am the proprietor of Silken Splendor. A former majestic of the Order of Majesty and a College of Performance and Artistry graduate, at least, but award-winning. It doesn't matter. You seriously are just here for silk?
Yes, and thread. Actually, I like specifically, I'm trying to find like metallic thread. Like, I'd have like a corner of my doodle corner, like to show her, but not the nice that's hidden away. Like my nicer, this is my doodle corner that I show to people to be like, huh, I can do fancy work for you. But it's just like a mess of doodle.
She looks it over, kind of feels it, kind of get just is checking it out in a professional sense.
It's nothing like you can do. The book is absolutely stunning, but I am just looking for things for my own clients and myself. I don't really have any clients. Just trying to,
Well, yeah, yes, I can source such a thing for you if it's needed. It will cost.
Fashion show thing. Immediately distracted.
Yes, it is. It is a very prestigious time for our society up here. The Festival of First Snow midweek comes with a particular pageant run by the Order of Majesty, and the pageant here will decide the next majestic of the order. I was once a majestic. It was the crowning achievement of my career. That was 2 decades ago. Now I still sell like no one else. This place is a pinnacle within this society. However, I cannot rest on my laurels. I know I still have the chance to do this. And with you, I could just win it.
Like I said, I'm only good at little things. I can't do work like yours.
Darling, no. I will be designing everything. I need you to wear it. With your build, those cheekbones, those shoulders, we would blow this way.
This is a lot to take in.
Understand, and yet you will, because we must do this together. If you want what you want from here, I will happily provide it for you, free of charge. But we will win. Deal?
Sure. What do I have to do? I just have to walk around and wear clothes?
Yes.
I can walk around and wear clothes, sure.
Then we have an accord. Shakes your hand. What was your name again?
Andy.
Spell it?
Andromeda.
Writes it down and instantly just goes into sketching. And within 15 seconds, as you're kind of stammering, you see already she's got a kind of framework of your figure. Surprising, impressive look of you has already kind of gathered some of the details of your facial structure.
Oh wait, I have a lot of layers on. Does it matter that I have all these? And I'll pull down and show my tattoos.
It gets better. And she just keeps sketching and adding. It says, I am going to, I need to see to this. I must see you again tomorrow though.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Excellent. Okay. Tomorrow here, noon. Not a minute late.
Okay.
Noon.
I've been told this water's hard to get in and out of. Is that going to be a problem?
No. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
No one will deny someone like.
And you'd be surprised. Okay. Sure. I'll come here tomorrow at noon.
Andromeda.
Yes, Andy.
This was a fateful meeting. Just continuing to draw, just instantly, just lost in thought.
Should I go? I'm just gonna go. Okay, nice to meet you. Bye.
You exit out the tinkling of the bell, back out into the lightly fallen snow. For those of you outside, you're able to get hot chocolate and all kinds of goodies, though the cost is astronomical for hot chocolate. It's like a gold a cup.
As if I have any concept of how expensive it should be.
Yeah.
Or truly the value of money.
Yeah. You throw down, 3 gold for the 3 of you. And the hot chocolate is amazing. It's
Oh my god.
frothy. There are like large marshmallows that are crusted in like a mint like sugar. So it like slowly dips and melts and adds this kind of fun little mint to it. That is amazing.
So what happened inside there? Did you get your fabric?
I did not. I did have potentially one of the most wild experiences of my life.
What?
I have to come back here tomorrow at like noon. I probably still won't get the fabric then, but apparently I need to walk around wearing fancy clothes later in the week.
Okay.
Yeah. It seems pretty easy to get potentially free fabric. That's pretty expensive. So I'm going to walk around wearing fancy clothes at some point.
Can we come and watch? Like, is it?
Sure. I mean, I don't think it actually is tomorrow. It might be this fashion show thing that all the banners are on.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we definitely come into that.
Yeah. It's probably not low profile, I'm realizing.
Yeah.
I will also
Who
point out
would, yeah.
the fashion show is not tomorrow, but the next day.
It's like 2 days from now. Oh, great. I was thinking this was going to take up a lot of my time because I have other things I need to do. But it's a little bit of walking around. I walk around for months with no pay. So walking up and down like a street, that should be fine.
This is so great. Nettie is becoming an incredible musician. You are finding a new hobby, walking around wearing clothes. I feel like things are really turning around for us.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you guys want to stop in here? Well, anything else you're looking at?
And this place is a little, I don't know, maybe too fancy. I kind of want to just like walk a bit, maybe back to the market district and get a room.
Sure. DeCrane, are you okay over there? Detect any threats?
See nothing right now.
Okay. I mean, just keep your eye out.
Easy enough. You guys get your way across Karden as sun does begin to set, and the grumble of hungry stomachs greets you as you come outside the classic kind of pub that is the Red Lion. Easy enough. You guys are able to go and get rooms, a good hearty meal, and do you want to lock in for like a number of nights here, put down a couple and just kind of see how it goes? I will point out with the festival on, like things are kind of in short supply at most places. Like it's all the inns and taverns are like people are staying in town. So it would be wise at least to get the week to see the festival out.
Yeah,
if you're
I think
gonna
that makes sense.
stay somewhere.
Yeah. And we can obviously it's easy to double or I don't know how many beds there are in these places, but we're kind of used to all staying in a cramped spot.
This place would have rooms that would comfortably sleep like 2 in a room, like 2 beds. So in theory, you probably still need to do at least 2 rooms with the 4 of you, even though the twins would be small, you'd still need another one. So
Just bunked up together in one bed.
yeah. Probably best to have 2 rooms. So 2 rooms, 7 days. So yeah, you're looking at about like 14 gold.
Done.
You want to just
Easy peasy. Obviously, like we can run through like the cost of like meals and things and all that kind of stuff, but we're not going to get into the nitty gritty of that. At the end of our maybe at the end of each week, we'll run through like general life expenses that would have incurred by living in the city. But getting this out in front is just easy. So a week of stay within the Red Lion pub is squared away with Nicandros, the Leonin barkeep and proprietor. Notably, again, I don't remember how much you stayed. I know you stayed here one night previously, but the I don't remember how much went into with the. There's a significant familiar kind of military adventurer kind of militia group here, and there are like these mercenary types who kind of frequent this place. It seems to be a pretty common stop for adventuring types. So you see a lot of people who look not unlike yourselves and probably a little hardier and worse off than yourselves. You guys are a lot happier, go lucky, and cute for adventurers. But the general type that comes through here is a little tougher on the exterior, anyways. But you are happily set up here and are able to kind of take care of getting that squared away.
Great.
So breaking out from the kind of, immediate moment to moment role play, are there anything that you guys kind of want to try and knock out within this week in general terms? We can go then through and like break down the moments that need to get played out and how we want to do that. Obviously, Andy's got a whole setup here with Silken Splendor that we'll run through, and that will lead to the thread and fabric situation. But what are the other things you guys want to try and accomplish over the 3 weeks, but even within this first couple of days, the festival on through the end of this week?
Would love to get the letter, but let's wait till Nettie's back. Nettie had to step out for a sec. Would also like to investigate that Red Marion kind of song that's been haunting Nettie and I. That originally drew us to kind of explore away from our homestead, but would still be fine to wait for Nettie to come back for that. We don't have a lot of gold. It's not really like we could shop for some crazy magical items because...
I mean, if you have 3 weeks, you could always try to find like busy work.
Or what's it called? Put in an order for something, like if you wanted to see. I wonder maybe if I could upgrade my armor. Let me look at what I got.
Notably, again, a non-magic based society here. Mm-hmm. So finding magical items and stuff like that is possible, but not on the up and up. You will have to go through the kind of underground channels, which are available and can be, found. There's that whole side of the world. Like imagine like you're kind of dealing in like antiques dealers and, stuff like that in black market kind of situation when it comes to this. So anywhere people are looking to make gold, magic items will be found. But it's not so obvious.
Is there... I remember mentioning before I wanted I think it was a rope with a... was it like a rope with a dagger on it or something where I could... for a grappling hook?
Grappling hook would be sweet.
You could easily get a grappling hook and a rope and fashion that. A grappling hook is something you could find at most smiths, or at least put in the order to make a grappling hook at a smith nearby. Within the merchants and guildsmen's wards, like not hard to find.
Okay.
So it's easily something that you can knock out. Getting extra rope, again, super easy to knock out. Like that's just, we can just consult like what the player's handbook like equipment stuff is. You can get pretty much anything that would be in the equipment section of the handbook at any in multiple places around here.
I would like to look at, so I have leather armor, just straight up leather armor. How much does it cost for something better than that? Now that druid's changed and I've got I'm a warden, so I think I can...
You took the medium armor? So let's get equipment.
P.S. If you're listening to this in the future, which hopefully you are, we are starting to use the D&D 2024 rules.
Mm-hmm. I like the changes. I think some of them are not the strongest changes, but by and large across the board, I think it's a better for the players, certainly. Haven't yet got the DMG yet to see about like full rules changes, and I've seen some ups and downs about certain things, but for the most part, I think it's positive. Okay, so AC, medium armor, you can't go heavy, so medium armor, you've got hides, you've got chain, you've got scale, you've got a breastplate, and you've got half plate. The scale, chain, and hides are all sub 100. Looking at 50 gold. Hide armor is 10 gold.
Oh, wow.
Chain and scale. Yeah, chain and scale are 50 gold apiece. Notably, scale is disadvantage on stealth checks. Chain is 13 plus dex, but max 2 dex, so it's a maximum 15 AC.
Okay.
You can get up to breastplate, which is 14 plus dex, no disadvantage on stealth, but that's a 400 gold cost.
Ooh, I can't afford that right now.
Base. And then half plate would be 15 plus dex, disadvantage on stealth, 750 base.
Can't afford that.
So chain shirt or scale mail is the 50 gold entry. Easy enough to find at any of these kind of places. Like finding a good one that's not going to rip you off is worth your investigation check for a day. But low DC, like easy to find these kinds of things.
What was the difference between chain shirt and scale? What was like the two?
So chain is 13 plus dex, but max 2. So it'd be a maximum 15. Scale is 14 plus dex, max 2, so maximum 16, but comes with a disadvantage on stealth.
That's it. I only have a +2 to stealth. I don't even know. Like, it's so tough to say.
And that's, so then on top of that would be your shield.
Yeah, be pretty cool.
Brings you up to an 18 if your shield is with the rock buckler. Would be a 19, but you have disadvantage on stealth. Yeah, give and take. 18 if you go chain.
I'll do the one that's disadvantaged on stealth because I'm just so bad at stealth anyways.
So why is just double down?
Just wanted to double down on it. Worst case, in a real pinch, I think we would have cast Pass Without a Trace and Pray. So
yeah. I mean, disadvantage with a +12 isn't bad because you're adding 10 with Pass Without a Trace.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
+12 disadvantage.
You're laughing.
If rolling a 1, you're in a pretty good situation.
So I currently have, if that costs me 50, I have 8 gold.
Okay. So with the two of you, because you're both going to look for Smith-based things, and we can obviously add Enid/Allie back into this conversation when she comes back. You guys rest for the first night, and early in the morning before Andy needs to make her way back to High Street, shops in like the Merchant's Ward are open at the crack of dawn. Like things start early, so you've got like hours before Andy needs to be back at noon up to High Street. So you guys can do a half day of shopping before anything needs to get done here. You're already in the ward here, so either one of you with advantage or both of you independently, go ahead and roll investigation and see what we can find.
Kev, I add +0 to investigation. What do you add?
0 as well.
I'm always expecting your Hondo level investigation. Let's both roll and have fun with it. Let's see what happens.
Let's do it.
I'm going to use real dice. 18! That's pretty good.
3.
I think the difference here is
get in the middle.
You guys... And Andy, are you going to go along with this or while they're out shopping?
Yeah, Andy talks to every vendor everywhere and asks them their life story. He's like talking to people, so I will be around, and if any of that, yeah.
Yeah, it does slow the day down for sure. But the group of you, I think DeCrane, where your investigation comes up dry, is more in that like you just keep getting distracted by the threats that you think you're perceiving, because for whatever reason, everywhere you go, especially in this area, you do feel like there are people watching, and you do feel like there are eyes on, and you're not wrong. There are. You can't quite pinpoint them. You get the inkling of it, though, confidently, but you're also not sure if it's directed at your group or that there are just eyes watching this area at all times. It's it's the merchant's ward. It's a lot of gold and stuff coming and going. So what I'll give you is that you definitely feel being watched. You have that sixth sense tingling of someone has been watching. Someone's watching me at some point, or your friends here. But you can't quite pinpoint where it is. You'll be free to pursue that investigation if you wanted to kind of nail that down after we go through this shopping element. I want to come back to it just to see if you can kind of get any additional information out of it, because you have kind of set that as something you've been looking for. But you have the inkling at least.
Can I talk to a merchant about it?
Sure, yeah. As Andy is in the middle of trying to get the life story of some random, farmer who's just telling her about his turnip crop. And what a good year they've had for turnips. You interrupt and interject mid-sentence. What do you say?
Is it just me, or are there people around here looking at us? I feel like we're not alone.
Oh, sure. The Candorne company often have their patrols that walk here to keep us safe as merchants. We have fought to have the guidance and cover of the King Guard and the City Watch to make sure that nothing untoward is happening on this street. This is a lot of livelihoods depend on making sure that we are safe in our ability to trade.
But it feels sinister, almost like
sinister. He says,
like
in
being protected.
In what way do you, he starts to kind of look around, like he's scrambling, just trying to, like, this guy is kind of weird.
I'm just staring at him.
You're free to make the play here however you wish. Do you want to try and be intimidating to him and force an answer? Do you want to try and be persuasive and, like, calm this instinct of fear that he has to you and reassure him? Or do you want to be deceptive in some way? However you want to kind of angle that. I'm going to ask for one of those three checks from you.
I mean, I was going to do a mix of deception and, like, calm down.
You can do deception with the guise of, like, somehow being able to, like, get around, like, you're just kind of fucking with them, and, like, and make it like I'm just messing with you. I don't, whatever. But, like, still kind of pushing for a little bit more.
Okay. So yeah. So I roll first, I guess. Let me roll.
A deception check. Let's see how well you're able to pull this off against
9.
It's a head-to-head roll.
Deception is +1, 10.
A 7 on his side is not going to do it. So as you kind of make your argument to calm down, that you're just joking.
Calm down a bit here. Just saying, I'm new here. I don't know how you folk operate and how your hospitality plays out. But if I turn the corner, am I going to be attacked? That's what I want.
Welcome to the area, to the city. You did have the look of someone unfamiliar with this area. I'll be honest. You kind of look not from around these parts, as they say. But no, you should. It is not to say that the city is safe at all times. There are certainly threats of There's gang activity. There's the Thieves Guild. Those of unsavory kind of natures. People are always going to be wanting to make coin wherever they can, or take it when they can't make it. So there's no world in which you're perfectly safe, and certainly with the fear and worry of rogue mages able to burn cities at their fingertips, we need the protection of the Arcana class. We need the Candorne Company. We need the City Watch. We need the people in power and who have the power to stop the people with more power from hurting the people like us with none. So feel safe. This place is well under the control of the Arcana class, the Candorne Company. Master Faust, our city watchman, he's an upstanding gentleman.
I'll take your word for it.
Good. Would you like a turnip?
I will give it to my friend. He likes turnips.
If you were looking at me, I'd change my face from shaking to legend.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks.
That's only a copper.
My friend loves paying for my turnips, so...
You will have to deduct 1 copper for this turnip.
I hate turnips. I hate them.
It is a good turnip for those who do like turnips. I don't. Unfortunately, not getting kind of the answers you wanted from this particular figure. After we come out of the smithy that you do find, I will ask for another check from you to see if you're able to kind of pinpoint this odd, untoward threat that you're feeling the eyes on, but we'll come back to that. As Allie kind of catching up, these guys are looking for just a smithy, trying to get some upgraded armor, and Kev is looking for grappling hook and stuff like that. So if you have anything you want to get that would be in a kind of smithy situation, a blacksmith, they are just about to enter into the exterior of Splint and Steel. This was pointed out to you by a couple of figures as Andy has been asking and talking with people. Splint and Steel has come up more than once as the fairest smith in town. And as you do come to the exterior of this relatively humble looking shop, you find the sign of Splint and Steel. You hear the familiar sounds of a smithy, an anvil, a hammer, all these kinds of things. Though notably, the only kind of other element that you note outside of just the kind of generic smith attire, there is on like the front entry into the shop on the door, there is a holy symbol of Kieran. That's not wholly surprising in the city. Kieran is kind of the patron saint, the god that is most prominent here, but it is prominently displayed. It's kind of the only thing I would say as you make your way inside Splint and Steel. As you make your way in, you see an incredibly orderly shop. There are no weapons on display within the entry, but you do see all manner of horseshoes organized very cleanly, farming tools and implements, nails, and other kind of like metalworks for construction. And then there are kind of on one wall a series of beautifully simple but beautiful, well-made armor pieces that range just from a series of helmets, shields, and then full sets of armor. All incredibly orderly and well made. Notably, behind the counter at the far side, you do see a rack of weapons on display, but it is kind of covered and hidden back behind, kept out of immediate reach. Around the right side of kind of the entry shop, you see a forge. You see the flyer of a forge, and you see on an anvil the back of this figure working away on what looks like a breastplate or some kind of thinner sheet of metal, hammering down. you notice wearing a leather apron over otherwise just scaled armor, scaled skin, a dragonborn. Tail kind of swishing with each hammer strike, and these impressive kind of curled horns that rise up and then straight back up to a point. And you can see the tips of his horns are kind of capped with a silver or platinum or gold kind of a metal. And he is working away. As you guys kind of make your way in, he hits a couple more hammer strokes before you watch a surprisingly, familiar, looks almost like a ray, like a light ball, like rises up out of the forge and comes to kind of his side of his head, and he stops mid-strike, and he turns and he speaks in this guttural kind of voice. Does anyone speak Draconic?
Nope.
Valentine did.
Nope.
It never. I don't think it ever came up.
You hear this language?
Infernal.
It is safely not infernal. It's a guttural kind of language. It's not off-putting, but it's certainly a little uncommon, a little abnormal. It speaks to this thing. It kind of shifts its way, kind of light fluttering back in towards the forge, and you watch the forge kind of slowly die down in light and become kind of dormant as he turns, wipes some soot and ash off of his apron, lifts up these goggles that he had on over his face, and kind of takes off this, like, he had like kind of like a mask over his snout, and pulls that off to kind of shake free the soot and stuff, as you see this silver scaled dragonborn kind of address you.
Welcome to Silk and Splendor. How may I help you?
Silk and Splendor. Like,
Sorry,
it's so weird.
Splint and Steel. I was
like, that's so weird. I would just wrote that Splint and Steel.
That was the other place.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Splint and Steel.
Oh, hi. Who's that? And I'll point to the little light glowing beside him.
Oh, that had gone back into the forge and disappeared.
Oh, okay. And then I'll just be really interested in that. Oh, hi. Hi. My name's Augustus. Immediately it's like, shit, I said my name. What's your name?
My name is Sir Eskith Voss.
And he puts his hand out to kind of shake yours. And
did he say like sir as in he's a knight? Wow,
Mm-hmm.
Sir Eskith.
Mm-hmm.
I put my little paw in his giant hand.
A surprisingly gentle handshake greets you.
A pleasure to meet you. What have you come to Splint and Steel for, young Augustus?
My friends and I were looking for, I think, a couple things. I was interested in. I just kind of had this coat, and it's kind of had a little leather armor underneath. But I was looking for something maybe a little more hardy. We've been getting into some action on our adventures, and would love to maybe, like help out more up at the front. Maybe be like a little tougher to hit.
Understandable. You did not look the adventuring type when you first entered, but the closer I stand, I do see some wear and tear upon your armor and shield there, though some very interesting accent to that shield of yours. I could say that your leatherwork needs some work, so perhaps something a little hardier. I can help you. Absolutely. And he kind of gestures over to the rack of what he has, and you can get set up with the scale mail if that's what you kind of are feeling. He
if that's where you're kind of gravitating toward. He just kind of notes that it'll take like an hour for him to kind of resize what he has.
Cool.
But he can make it work for your size and stature if you want to go that route.
I would love that. That looks great.
Of course.
I tried on it. It's way too big. Just like wearing an adult giant's clothes.
He actually like kind of looks at you wearing this like.
That will need to be resized.
He kind of looks over his shoulder and says,
Catholics.
and you watch as two of these little light sprites kind of flutter out of the forge where you had seen before, followed by another 1, 2. So 4 of these sprites. They kind of flutter over, and as they get closer, you see that there's not so much a light sprite in Ray's form, but a glowing miniature like baby dragon that is in kind of this elemental kind of white blue energy that kind of surrounds it, and scaled, but like the wings are an elemental energy. Their eyes are pure this energy as well, and they kind of flutter around little baby bodies, and they kind of all 4 kind of fly over and begin to kind of encircle you. 2 of them are encircling you with like a measuring tape and are kind of taking your measurements and assisting him in this endeavor.
I think Ray starts to fly with them. She gets real excited seeing that. Comes out of my little coat and starts to zip with them.
One of them gets way too excited and is just like focused on Ray, and he like utters a command, and instantly it just like comes back to work.
Like a cat with a laser pointer.
Yeah, exactly.
He kind of gives it a little bit of a stern look before all this happening is.
And the rest of your crew here, is there anything else I can assist in smithing?
DeCrane, what did you want? Just a rope?
Grappling rope, yes.
Ah,
Maybe it can be used as a weapon as well.
Cool.
If you're looking for something that can be used in combat as well as a climbing implement, I could perhaps go for a more modified war pick than grappling hook, which still provides you with the chance to hook up upon something to which you could affix and climb, while also acting as a swingable weapon and implement of introducing a significant amount of damage.
I think that sounds very reasonable.
Should perhaps they're not particularly costly if you are adventurers and you have the coin to spend. I do have the standard grappling hook as well. If you were to buy both, it would only run. I'll get the specifics actually of how much those would run, because he would have
This amount of money.
This dollar figure for a where's grappling? Grappling hook, come back. 2 gold for the grappling hook, so we'll call it 4 gold for both.
Yeah, easy.
I mean, I only have 8 gold, but...
How do you only make gold? What are you even buying?
Wait, we got paid. You didn't buy anything after we got paid, did you?
Yeah, you guys each got 150 gold.
Oh, Kevin, maybe you didn't transfer your stuff over to the new character sheet.
So Kev, add 150 gold.
Let me double check that figure.
I make sure I didn't buy something.
I don't.
Check your old
Everyone just
character
got
sheet.
250 gold for our work, is what I have in the notes here.
I don't think you guys haven't been anywhere to spend money yet. You guys
That's
got
why I'm
paid.
thinking like he got like his standard, like you get this much gold as a starting adventurer and you didn't move over your other stuff.
And I didn't add that gold either, because I was doing... Nettie lost all her money, and then I split my money with Nettie. And so then I was so low.
Yeah,
But
because
now
now
I'm loaded. Guys, I got flush
You're-
with cash.
each given 100 gold and then 150 gold bonus. So yeah, you should each have 250 gold in addition to whatever you had before.
Oh.
So you should have, in the range of 250 to 300 gold.
All right, then sounds like a deal.
Kev will buy 300 gold worth of those things.
You're able to get a grappling hook, and we'll call it like a modified war pick. He doesn't have the additional rope if you needed more rope than what you have, but that can easily be found on this street for a gold. So not hard if anyone wants to buy an additional 50 feet of rope, standard gold. There's no charge for the modification of the armor, so it would be 50 gold for the straight scale.
Done.
He says it'll take an hour for him to do the modifications, and then you can come and grab that, easy peasy. And then is there anything else from Sir Esketh here?
We got arrows and bow. We don't need that stuff.
Ellie, do you need anything? Do you need more arrows or anything?
Yeah, I could use more arrows. I think I only have, I have 4 + 1 arrows. So I could use maybe some fun arrows. I'm wondering if maybe armor or something, light armor, better than what I have.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what you currently have?
Armor do you have, and what proficiency do you have? If you have medium armor, we can just do the same thing Scott showed you. So if you have medium armor and proficiencies, if you go scale mail, which would be the same as Scott, that would be 14 plus dex modifier, but a max of 2, but disadvantage on stealth. For 400 gold, you can do breastplate, which is a 14 plus 2 max dex, so a maximum 16 AC without the disadvantage to stealth. You can do a chain shirt, which is 13 plus dex, but a max 2. One of the advantages you have to staying with light armor is that it adds your full dexterity modifier, and as the ranger, you're going to have 3, 4, 5 dex mod. So if you stuck with leather or studded leather, you'd be at 12 plus your full dex mod versus the others with a cap of 2. So what do you have right now? Just leather?
Yeah.
You could get studded leather here for 45 gold, and it's 12 plus your dexterity mod. So it's an extra 180 at least.
Sure.
Easy enough. So added, studded leather. He does actually have some studded leather that's already in kind of a smaller size, easy enough to kind of affix elements for you. So no additional time there, and easy enough for you to get that for 45 gold.
Okay.
Andy, what about this is a classic Kev thing, but ball bearings, or is there anything portable you could always use for catapult? If you ever needed it?
It only works on a single item. So a little ball bearing, it's up to 5 pounds. So I'm not sure.
That would still work for catapult.
Yeah, but it's not going to do as a little ball bearing isn't going to do.
Doesn't matter. It becomes the damage of the spell. The only times that I modify it because I think it's cool, but even by the damage of this, by the spell's application, you're not supposed to if you catapulted an alchemist fire, it's not supposed to deal the alchemist fire as well. It's somehow doesn't. It's not supposed to work like that. I think that's dumb. It's cooler to do it like that. So a ball bearing with catapult just becomes a bullet. It still hits with 3d8 force or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It still works totally fine. You could do it with a fucking rock. You could do it, but when you get into the larger items that have cooler potential side effects, I'm fine with adding additional things on top.
Ooh, what if we can I get more? Because we got that climbing kit and it came with a bunch of pittons. Can I get some more of those here?
Pittons?
They're metal.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have
because those I used quite a bit, and I lost a handful of them. Right when we were using it to embed in things.
Yeah, I don't think you can buy just a piton.
Probably not.
D&D Beyond, but a climbing kit, tools, artisans tools, a climbing kit. Where are you? So the standard climber's kit is 25 gold. Includes boot tips, gloves, pittons, and a harness. So let's break it down to pittons, 2 silver a piton, because it would take a little bit of maneuvering to get that shape. So how many do you want? 2 silver a pittance. A gold would be 5, right?
Yeah, let's just do that. It's like replenishing what I've just lost a lot of pittance, so now I have full kit. Would that be reasonable?
Easy enough for you to scoop up from a box that he has on display.
Cool.
5 pittance acquired.
And I can also use them to launch at people if I need to.
Yeah. Easy enough. If there's nothing else from this shop here, you guys are able to continue on with your day.
Can I ask one more thing from him?
Of course.
I've carried around this huge quarterstaff, but I don't know how I even told him any of this. And so I think I did, actually. Can I ask him, I want to break it in 2, and I want to make it into 2 tinier staffs like that. Basically what it's going to be is thematically drumsticks for August to be her drummer if she's on guitar, and I'll just cast Shillelagh into one of them to use it as a magical weapon if I need it. But could he
give yourself Nightwing excrement sticks?
Pretty but I'll just be drumming a lot on things, which will be super annoying. But could he maybe reinforce it? This is just all pretty much color. Could he just reinforce them so they're not going to shatter all the time when I'm moving them around?
Yeah, as you kind of explain the situation, he nods along, just, it's a very elegant solution. I applaud your creativity. I think that is excellent. Yes, I can absolutely do that for you. It will take a little bit of time to thinner filigree and some additional embossing, 2 caps on either end. You'd be able to pick it up tomorrow if that would work for you.
That's perfect.
I would. It's not going to take so much metal, but it will take some of my time. So perhaps for 2.
Yeah.
Then we will call it 6 gold.
Let's call it 8 gold.
No, 6 gold is what I said.
Oh, okay. 6 gold it is.
8 would be too much.
Okay. Do you want to come to a fashion show tomorrow?
Unfortunately, I must work, but I appreciate the offer.
Yeah, this guy's playing me hot and cold. Okay, no problem.
It was a pleasure to meet you all.
I got such a good vibe about this future weapon and look. Thanks.
I will do my utmost best to replicate your vision.
Appreciate it.
And then the only other thing I'm thinking for Augie as we go through here is, I guess, not as much fabric like what Andy needs, but I think he would be looking for tiny strips of fabric that he can add to his coat. Just anytime he might see something, just pick it up, grab a little,
a little tassel from a fancy banner or something.
Anything, yeah. One of the banners falls down, rip it, put it on.
Go ahead and throw me a sleight of hand check.
Oh no.
And Crane, as you guys exit the shop, go ahead and throw either a perception or investigation check as well.
D&D Beyond likes me tonight. 16.
You gather 3 or 4 nice new strips of cloth from various bits and pieces, able to kind of just cut from little bits and pieces, able to just kind of quick tugs on some stuff, probably compromising the structural integrity of a couple of banners, but they're going to look good on your coat.
I'll probably ask you to do that later, Andy, to try and sew them on because you're good at sewing.
DeCrane, what was that total?
12, 6, and 6.
Okay.
Who's following us, DeCrane?
You guys exit out of I almost said Silken Splendor again. Splint and Steel. And it's still early in the morning. You guys didn't have to come very far to get here. You spent more time talking to people than you did kind of making your way down through this main, through the street here. You don't get a great eye on, but you do see something slink away that you are confident that you catch something that was watching the 4 of you, or at least watching the store and the people around the exterior. And it is busy. It's a busy street. As you walk out, there are people all milling about. There's the carts and wagons and livestock and lots of other travelers. It's a wide street, but on the roof across on the next building across, kind of up in the various like 2 or 3 story roofs of there's upper levels of like homes and apartments and stuff like that are above the shop level. You see something small tuck away around the edge of the eave and out of sight. You don't get a good idea of what it was, but a confirmation that something has at least is trying to keep from being spotted by you and has been watching this area, if not you guys specifically.
Do you share that to Crane?
Yeah.
I could always turn into a little critter and try and sneak up on whatever's sneaking up on us.
I think that could be helpful.
Okay, I'm gonna look for a moment to kind of creep away as we're walking. Maybe we'll like dart down an alley and I'll try and change into something.
Pretend you're going to buy something somewhere. Just disappear.
Okay.
Actually, fortunately, I'm not wearing that disadvantage on stealth right now. I already added it, but hopefully I don't need that.
You do need to make either a deception or stealth check, your choice, based on the fact that you're going to try and like slip away.
I will block him with my large body if that helps.
What are my 2 options? Sorry, stealth or
deception. Like if you want to try and like play it off as like a social, I'm slipping away to go do this.
I'll try that.
Your choice.
I'm just gonna go back actually and see if they have a bathroom, because I have a small bladder.
Deception check.
14.
Definitely beats this roll I made. So you get away and are confidently like out of sight from the main street.
I'm thinking of what maybe I've seen in this city. We seen any like stray cats or anything like that?
Oh yeah.
Then I think
Without
a cat.
question.
I think cat's probably good. A cat could probably climb. Like, do cats have a climbing speed?
It would be tough.
Like bear cat can climb, but he's just kind of creepy looking. Maybe I'll do bear cat.
Sure.
Just a bear cat hanging out in the...
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. So you tucked your way behind and make your way across. So are you going to try and climb the building like out front? Are you going to try and make your way around the back of the building that you saw this creature?
Okay, wait. I got Wildcat you gave me. It might have been a custom thing you did, and it's got a 25 climb. So I think I'm going to do that.
Okay, that's fine. I thought that might have been our bear cat, but I don't remember.
This one's tiny. He's a tiny little beast.
Oh, okay. Great. You are able to, with that climbing speed, make your way up to this building and begin to scale it. I do at this point need a stealth check.
Sure. Apparently I have advantage on stealth checks due to the elusive thing.
Nice.
Okay, let's do it. And what do you add to stealth, little kitty? +5. Okay. I'll use this one. Oh, that's really good. Oh, same roll, twice. 23.
Excellent. Okay, so quietly, stealthily, you turn into this wildcat and begin to scale your way up the backside, up like eaves onto balcony elements, jumping up onto the edge of a window, and then kind of scampering up on some of the kind of broken out exterior bits of brick that give just a couple little foothold perfectly set for tiny little feet. And as you pull yourself up over the edge, just creeping up over the edge, you can see there is a small winged creature that is kind of clinging to the edge, tucked down away from the forward kind of eave, and is like kind of just trying to pull itself back enough just to peek out over the edge. It's like open daylight, so there's no really anything. It's not hiding from you specifically. It's hiding from everyone below. You don't get a great look at what it is, because it is kind of a weird thing. It looks like a stone or kind of stone creature, winged, kind of like a shrunken, skinnier gargoyle. almost like if you took like what you imagine with an imp and a gargoyle and put them a little better together.
Is it a quasit?
Nope. It looks more impish, but made of stone.
Crazy. Can I just kind of watch it for a bit, like try and just hide where I am, or pretend to just be a cat if it looks over at me?
It doesn't turn as you kind of give it a couple of beats and pause, and it does seem to be is shifting up onto like the edge of the roof and kind of climbing. It is making its way like along the roof where the peak of the roof is going to make you lose sight of it.
And I guess if you can tell me if I have an angle to perceive this, can I tell it's watching my friends?
It would be difficult at this angle to tell exactly what it's looking at because you're seeing from behind.
Yeah.
You're not sure where its eyes are headed, but it is in the same position, and you could imagine your friends are beginning to kind of shift slowly this way, and it does seem to be following this trajectory. You would need to get either around to confirm that they're moving alongside it, which would be another stealth check, but you could do kind of like scaling along the edge to get the sight of like this creature on top and your friends on the ground from this side of the building.
I don't want to push my luck. I think I got eyes on it. I can see what it is. So I think I'm going to try and escape.
Easy. Yeah. Its focus is elsewhere. You're already kind of stealthy enough. You're able to drop back down to street level with ease.
And then I think I would try and sneak back into whatever shop I pretended to go into, and then I'll just revert back into me. And I'll come outside and be like, I peed.
Easy enough as you do this in the alleys. I'm going to roll randomly to see if anyone notices you turning into and out of a creature. And we'll see what happens. If I hit in this instance, like you rolled relatively high stealth, you made a point of like making your way kind of around a shop. 15 or higher will get someone's attention.
Okay.
That's a 14.
Andy would have been so mad at me. It's like the one thing she said to me over and over.
It was close. I think on it being so close, as you kind of exit the shop, you get a couple of looks, and it takes like a full couple of beats where you realize how close that was to being something that you're like, oh, I could have just really fucked up. Like without even
fall down.
Just like, I can't believe I almost totally fucked this. And then, but I'm okay.
Yeah, I just try and casually walk to the group.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
So yeah, with that, you guys are all able to get some new armor, get some equipment stuff for adventuring purposes. Outside of jumping to the next day for Andy's thing, now that Allie is back, you could go and check out the courier's place for deliveries.
Yeah.
And I know, Andy, you also wanted to head to get your tattoo and check in.
There's no
there.
urgency on that, though.
Exactly. So, like, I just know that was something that you had kind of planned to do when you were in the city for any length of time. But yeah, let me know if there's anything else. But for the now, we'll head to the couriers. In this instance, we're not going to roleplay the situation at the couriers, just for expediency.
Quick aside, I told everyone what I saw, and I'll try and draw it later.
Easy enough. It doesn't spark anything from, like, you know, Andy, like what that would be. You know, none of you have seen this kind of thing before. None of you, like, you know, out of game, you know what an imp is, but none of you in game have ever seen an imp.
Yeah.
You have the idea of what like impish means, and therefore it comes with a little bit of like a descriptor, but the physical creature of an imp you don't know. And same with gargoyles, you would know as the fixture of a building, not as the creature.
Or the kids' TV show.
Or the kids' TV show. That is a classic. So yeah, you get that idea. It's a weird creature. It does seem out of place in this kind of place. It does seem kind of innately magical, which is like an odd element that it maybe is like kind of working in the kind of gears of some minds. But beyond that, there's nothing much more to go on currently. As you do ruminate on that, you do find your way to the couriers. And you do, in fact, find a parcel from your mom's. There is it was sent almost the day after they would have received. It was flipped right around and has been sitting here now for about 2 weeks, as it takes about a week to travel back and forth to Marabella for mail purposes. So it's been here for a little while. The note comes from your mom's, obviously very gracious that you sent coin. There are tons of questions about how you came into this much money, and they're dancing around the what did you do, and ending with a lot of reminders to keep your paws clean, noses out of trouble, but nonetheless very appreciative. There's the harvest at the farm was not so great this year, but the bees still seem to thrive. The honey was particularly sweet. With winter coming, they're looking just to kind of hunker down. And with the coin that you've sent, that has made that a far less worrying endeavor. And they're happy to gain a few pounds on bread and honey. So a sweet note back from the moms. And you can feel confident in the fact that you didn't have to do anything super illegal to get that money. So
that is good.
Alongside the note comes a package. Inside the package, they have knit 2 woolen caps with ear holes and little fingerless mittens for each of you.
Are they matching?
They are of a kind of a blue, greeny, purple kind of mixture of yarn and threads.
Excellent.
But yes, they are 4 mittens and 2 hats of the same kind. And there are 2 jars of their honey alongside the little stuff for the winter.
That's so cute.
Oh,
I'm just writing it all down for
love
inventory.
it.
I love your cottagecore beekeeper mom.
Yeah.
They're super cute.
Do you want to know their names for canon's reasons? Because it's a cute story. So one's named Bakey, and one's name is, do you remember what you named yours, Allie?
Bessie.
Bessie. And
Bakey
these
and
are like our grandma or like ancestor names. Like it's in our families, these names.
It's so cute.
Bakey and Bessie. When we found out that worked so well, we were like, we have to do this.
Done.
Little Bakey and Bessie.
Bakey and Bessie.
And that works with bees too. Bees and honey. Bakey, Bessie, bees and honey. Yeah, I'd put my little fingerless gloves on, put my little cap on.
It's actually great, perfect timing for this. It's not so cold here, but having the added kind of area for your ears to get through and not full covered mittens and gloves. It's just warm enough to get through this first chill. Though you imagine when things start to get into proper winter, you'll want some better, stronger gear to keep that out. But at least for now, the heartwarming elements will keep it a little bit warmer. Anything else from our crew at large?
I know we wanted to investigate the song, but I'd rather see a fashion show before we do that.
That is totally fair. There is that kind of fashion show that is set for tomorrow. Today, you have to get back to Silk and Splendor to kind of do the next steps there with Mistress Sabine. You've kind of investigated a little bit of this creature. At this point, as you guys are going to start to kind of make your way back towards the high street, just group perception.
You got it.
As you're making your way through the streets, what else do you hear and see and pick up on?
Has everything changed for me? I just got a nat 20.
Hey. That's awesome.
Just need to take weeks off this game for my luck to reset.
17. Not as good as a nat 20.
No. The nat 20 is going to give you something, obviously. And I know you just said you wanted to hold on that until the fashion show, but
When you get a nat 20? Yeah.
When you get in that 20, and when it was designed to be a thing that was in your path that for you to maybe roll on, it happens. As you guys are making your way back through the Merchant's Ward, into the River Ward, there's a park outside on the kind of the Guildsman's Ward, Merchant Ward kind of corner where the Pentagon Bridge reaches across over to the River Ward. It crosses the river. And there's this kind of meeting point of Guildsman's and Merchant's Ward. There's a massive kind of park. When you pass through here the first time, there was a protest going on. There's a statue of a Fendrith, and there's a protest that you happen to notice in this point. It's a large park. It's like a big... if you're going to have a big outdoor meeting situation, if there's going to be a protest, if there's going to be a festival setting, something is going to happen in this area, and you're going to pass it as you get your way back to the River Ward. As you go on your way back to the River Ward this day, the park here is set up for Snow Festival. There are all kind of carts and things line, again, similar kind of setups of hot cocoa and cider and on nice warm things. There are, fresh cider donuts that are being made alongside just like small little pastries and things that are being sold, candies and things. And there are people who are trying to sell hats and mitts and all these kinds of things to go along with this kind of festival. And in the middle of the park, that's a little further in than you would initially hear, were it not for a nat 20 or a very high perception check, or very high passive perception to kind of catch it on the ear. There is like a gazebo, and around that gazebo is kind of set this stage set up, essentially. It has been set up for this, I should say. And there is there's a group all amassed around watching a performance. And there it happens to be a little show taking place. As you are making your way across, the rest of you kind of are just continuing on about your day. You hear the elements happening over there, but it doesn't quite register. But Augustus, piercing through the din of the city, the wind, and everything, is the all too familiar song. You hear up, midway through, the lyrics of the Red Marion poem that has kind of caught your ear now months ago, being recited and acted out on stage in this park. And instantly your ear perks and twists and focuses, and you look and see through this park, they're on stage. They are reciting and acting out this kind of play to go along with the song.
I think almost trance-like I'd be drawn to that. Just like if I hear it, just maybe grab Nettie's like paw just as I start walking towards it.
Suddenly the two of them start to kind of veer off towards this stage, this gazebo in the middle of this park. And now with that focus, there is a very outdoor theater thing. So they're projecting, and it is coming out quite loud. When you know that you're listening and focusing on it, now you can hear it from afar. And all of you begin to kind of catch what becomes the last third into the crescendo at the end of this poem. And you're watching this figure in the middle, dressed in red, this woman with kind of fiery red hair, made up very if stage makeup, very, very large, very emotive. And from her kind of dress, from her body, her arms kind of outstretched, and head kind of tilted back and just kind of waving back and forth. With each kind of other word in each line, a new stage player, a new actor rushes up to her and grabs and pulls a large thread, like a streamer of red, pulls out, and another, and then another, and then another. And like she seems to be blossoming and pulled of these wide, loose strands. And as she kind of comes to the climax and finish of the song, they are holding onto the strings, and she snatches them and drags them down, and all the other actors drop hard to the floor. And she is standing kind of and bows over top of the fallen artists and actors around her in this big crescendo of her final move. the applause is middling at best, and the actors pick themselves up, do a bow, and kind of race back to kind of behind this curtain that has been set around this gazebo as you make it at this point now to the edge of the crowd in this setup. But you hear and see the final act, this setup, the stage play.
Doesn't that feel so weird that this would be here, Nettie? This like song that's been haunting us is now just in this park as we come across it.
It's kind of weird because it almost feels like it's following us.
Yeah, haunting us. Should we try and like talk to these actors or something?
Maybe. Got nothing else to do right now. Might as well.
Yeah, maybe if Andy's there, we could tell her like, hey, I don't want to make you late, but I think we're going to talk to these actors if you want to get your measurements or whatever.
It's fine. I think we have time. I'm welcome to wait for you if you'd like.
Okay. This is about that song we heard. I think we shared about this song that's kind of been haunting us for a bit. That was it.
Ah. I mean, obviously we came in at the end. Someone's got to have the full story for you.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a script.
Yeah, Kyle, what's the actors' vibes like? They scurried off stage. Can we see them now, or?
Still kind of behind this kind of setup curtain that kind of cuts off across the gazebo, but you can still see kind of at the edges, like they're just behind a curtain on the other side of the gazebo. Like there's no real production here. They're just kind of milling about behind. If you just walked around, you can just get into their midst.
I think that's what I'm going to try and do.
Big like community theater.
Yeah, they're just right there. There's just a curtain. Yeah, easy enough. You guys make your way around. There are a dozen actors in kind of a smattering of like kind of somewhat peasant garb, somewhat more affluent, but just kind of general folk, clothes. Nothing particularly impressive. Some are in like what is going to be the kind of cloth version of like a guard or like a soldier, a knight maybe. Very, very simplistic. And then there is the main actress who is playing the Red Marion character, who is obviously done up a little bit more extravagantly and a little bit more thought and care put into the hair, makeup, and her attire. So 13 actors together. Quick, that's all you see. You don't see any additional support. It's just the 13 of them as you make your way towards them. They seem to be just kind of like just chattering excitedly about what the performance for today, how there was, you hear like someone just like, yeah, there was like, 15 people. That was, that's quite a bit. Like we haven't had that many people in forever. Like, and for like a noon, performance, like, most people are at the tavern by now, like, and they're just excited about the fact that they had a little bit of an audience. But nothing else kind of catches your ear as you make your way close.
I thump my little paws, my gloved paws in applause.
Instantly, just all eyes turn to your group. And there are cheers and kind of raised glasses and some kind of small bows. And just kind of the nearest to you is, you liked it? You thought it was good?
Yeah, very spooky, very, very sticks
ominous.
with you. Yeah, ominous. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that came across. We were really trying to get that vibe,
Where did you hear that song by chance?
I mean, this is the first time I've performed this particular play. It was, we're all with the College of Artistry and Performance, and this is part of our assignment.
The COAP.
That's the one.
The co-op.
Yeah. This is part of our assignment is to be a part of the fall festival. We're given a selection of plays and things to things to portray and be a part of the festivities, and we get to organize how we want to and present it however we want to. They give us a lot of creative license. It's really great. Like it's a really good opportunity for us to show like leadership and really put ourselves out there, get some really get in with the people and like put ourselves like right where we want to be, right with the people.
Hey, where's your college at? Where's that in town?
Yeah, it's in just on the south side of High Street.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you guys like looking to apply or something? Because like
we actually are performers ourselves.
Yeah.
I could tell. I could definitely tell. You guys have the air of.
Thank you.
Yeah, I could see it. I could read the auras.
What's the vibe of the woman who played Marion as we're chatting to this person?
Make an insight check.
Okay, you got it. 20 dirty.
She is obviously the center of attention within the crew. They are kind of crowding around her as the central figure. This person who is nearest to you, she has cast about 17 side-eye glances in the conversation you guys have been having. The fact that she hasn't been brought up or brought over, or you haven't mentioned her performance or anything like that. Like she's been side-eyeing and like not so subtly.
What the fuck? Someone bring up my performance.
Yeah.
Who played I guess that's the Red Marion.
Oh yeah. Lola. She is our star, obviously. She's this is her performance. This is her project. The other actors are brought in as this is our first year. She's in her final, so this is kind of riding on her one of her final kind of grades. But it's a great opportunity for us, as freshmen to kind of get in on the action. And really see someone like her, bring her level of performance and presence. Really, a lot of notes to pick up.
Do you think we could chat with her just real quick?
I mean, you can certainly try. There's lots of people who are gonna instantly just like she shoves.
Just look around. Okay.
Oh.
Hi. You were in the audience?
Yeah, we just caught. We were so captivated. We just caught, I think, maybe the last third, and wow, impressive.
Lola.
That's me. Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you enjoyed the performance. We are really working on trying to get everyone on the same page. I hope the next one is just even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, what was the inspiration for this play? We heard it was like Eurovision, and would love to hear, your process, how it came to you.
Of your vision.
Oh.
Lola.
As what's your name again? Yeah. As he said, this was an assignment. We were given the selection of about 12 different plays or pieces that we could take and do with whatever we wanted, and this one just really spoke to me. Really had a central figure that I could really get attached into and get myself rooted in, and really get my performance out and have the audience feel what I was feeling. It spoke to me.
Mm-hmm.
And we felt that for sure.
I'm glad. So glad.
When it was speaking to you, where did you find it speaking to you? This text. Because you found it somewhere, right? You had a bunch to choose from.
Yeah, they were just presented to me. I guess something about the character of Red Marion, just really someone who takes charge, who cuts the strings of everyone else and really owns her own character. She is not under anyone else's control. She's going to do the controlling. And I really understood that.
It shows. I
hope that came across. I think I really connected with her, spiritually, metaphysically. I think it just really spoke to me of this in this moment, in that final crescendo. It's just me.
Like a river.
Yeah.
Augie?
Lola? Wow. Transcendent. I think that's going to stay with me for a bit. We might check out the co-op when we go back to High Street.
You should. We'll be putting the performance on here for a couple more times today, but if enough feedback about this performance gets back to the college, the kind of the most liked, the most voted for performance gets to perform again at the kind of final ceremonies at the college. So if anyone happens to come by and says, who was your favorite, you know who to call.
Hey, what prof or instructor should we put in a good word with if we go back there?
Who's the main one?
Professor Eldros. Professor Eldros is so good. He's amazing. If you are interested at all in furthering your craft in any artistic endeavor, he is beyond the one you need to speak to.
Excellent. Cool.
Well, it was lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for watching the performance. I hope you get to see another one. And of course, vote for Lola.
Of course.
Always. Break a leg.
Lola.
Lola, bye.
Waves and makes her way back to the adoring crowd.
As we're walking away, I was like,
tired to be here.
I would lower my voice as we're walking away and be like,
we got to talk to that Professor Eldros guy.
And fast.
And he might be bad. We might need to. Okay, let's go talk to the others.
Good thing we stocked up on stuff.
That was so weird. You're like...
Time out. Was that telepathic?
That was so cool.
You didn't see your mouth move.
Ellie, your mouth didn't move when you said that. Boy, I was like,
Really?
Oh my god, what happened?
Oh, well, I'm actually practicing. I'm trying to be a bit
Throwing your voice.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Thank
That was
you.
cool.
It was spooky. That was great.
Okay, yeah, let's walk back to the others and maybe fill them in. And we got to get Andy to this fitting or else she's going to blow this opportunity.
You are able to make it with plenty of time to spare, but you can have a conversation along the way easily enough.
I think just kind of fill them in on the College of Art and Performers. Professor Eldros asked them to put on this thing. I didn't get the vibe that, I could be wrong, I didn't get the vibe that Lola was like, driving this text. It just seemed like she wanted to put on a good show. But this Professor Eldros makes me... I think Augie, trying to be Augie and not Scott here, Augie is nervous about whatever is putting this into the world. So trying to find like the person that is like encouraging it. So I think that's where his thought process goes.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I think there's something to the your kind of innate wisdom, your innate insight of like, there's something unnatural about this song, about the story, whatever it is. There's something unnatural there, and there's something that has kind of called to both of you in this, dreamlike state of, I know that there's something more here from a dream that I can't remember, from a life that wasn't the one I know. And you can't shake that, and hearing it again those same feelings are brought again to the surface, and it is in the same vein as the scent memory of the rot blades. Enid having that exact same kind of callback to something that you know but can't remember, and know you've smelt, experienced, felt, but it's the shadow of a memory.
I think I'm always also worried about more people hearing it, like knowing how it's almost like infected us and we can't shake it. Worried about them being like, we'll put it on for more audiences, a wider audience. That's spooky.
Yeah.
Certainly, you're not sure exactly how this plays out. Admittedly, the arcane elements of how like stuff like this can play out is not your strong suit necessarily, but the knowledge that it could spread like that is within your purview. So
don't like it.
Something to think about. Easily enough, able to make your way back to Silken Splendor with plenty of time to spare. Do all four of you go in, or is it just Andy again?
I really want to go in now after she told me about it before.
Yeah.
The four of you make your way inside, and again, the store is otherwise empty, and the only difference being on the table that Mr. Savine was working on previously, there are now stacks of pages of drawings of various stages of headgear on one, and then there's the full dress on another. Then there's just bits and pieces of like sleeve, no sleeve, gloves, no glove, rings, can I go with there's like crystal accoutrement that seems to be just like coming out of your skin, and then she's like kind of scratched out, and like dangerous is written there. It's like all manner of like thought process and artistic expression just like explored. And again, Mistress Savine comes from this kind of through this curtain out to you. No paper and pages are in hand, but her quill kind of flitting between her fingers as she looks over. And wonderful. And you've brought some friends? Question mark.
Oh yeah.
Is it okay? Is that okay if we watch? We just heard such cool things.
You may watch. Now, she kind of, for a moment, kind of passes over Enid and Augustus and goes to Andy, but then for a moment, her eyes turn back and she kind of looks over towards DeCrane and says, and who are you?
I am DeCrane. I travel with your friends here.
You keep very interesting company, dear. Do you have any history in modeling or acting?
Don't look like it.
Yes, that's why I ask. Because look at those cheekbones. One, could cut glass. Two, the stature of a statue. And gee, look at this fascinating hair situation. What it fits the whole motif that we're going for here of this kind of ethereal snow. Thoughts? A pair? King and queen?
2 miles.
I have ideas.
I like it.
Do it.
Instant back just scribbling.
I think now
3 or 4.
Nettie and Augie on either side just encouraging everything.
Yeah.
Yes, like this. More.
Okay. She begins to just kind of break it down, and she snaps, and 2 other kind of younger half-elven women come out from the back, and she just instantly just like points to Andy and just says to Andy, strip, we must start from fresh. And the girls rush over to you as you just begin to kind of disrobe and do your thing, and they begin to kind of get you set up with all the pieces of what she has kind of underway. They're taking measurements. They're marking the pieces that she has started that are not in completed states. And away they go.
I make sure to like tightly roll up my spell sash so that no one else has it, and I'll just give it to Enid with like my astrolabe in the middle. Just watch this one. Just watch this one, please.
Got it.
As the other kind of assistants go over and are just kind of over you, putting pieces on adjusting, checking like your measurements. Savine sits at the table and just kind of stares at you, DeCrane, for a minute as you're just kind of standing there, and it's just like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, sketching. Where are you from?
Far away.
Mysterious. The whole package, indeed. And she begins to just continue this sketch, and says, "How comfortable are you in this present company?" DeCrane.
Yeah. If they're going along with it, I will follow.
Excellent. There's the shirt, coat, the whole. This.
DeCrane, you gotta do it.
Guess so.
A stranger asked you. You have to do it.
You have the gift. Do it.
Now, for all of our fan artists out there, how jacked and ripped is DeCrane below?
And have like scars. How shredded is he?
What are we looking at?
Are
we looking at like a? Are we looking at like a caval? Are we looking at a caval of
Or like
beefier, hairy, but like the manliest man?
Or like Brad Pitt in Fight Club, like
Fight Club
lean
Pitt.
as.
Probably not too bulky.
Okay.
We're going the pit. We're going the pit way.
It's more
But
cut.
like super cut. I see it. I see
Spare
it.
no details. Any interesting scars before we go further? Because that can always be telling.
Well, he should have a line in his chest now from when you guys had to.
From surgery.
Yes.
That is true.
I guess that would be it.
Any like you've been shot scars? Anything like that?
Maybe like in the leg or something. Nothing really serious.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, that tracks. She continues just going about her sketch. And over the next like hour, 2 hours, the ensemble begins to unfold in front of all of you as this presentation of as she said, this kind of ethereal snow motif of elements that are all affixed to like a thin gossamer or lace that make it look like they're not all attached, make it look like they're pieces of more of skin than they are of like a single piece of clothing. And some are not. Some are like a sleeve is its own piece with like a full glove. And you are both in like high fashion, ridiculous, like doesn't make sense to ever wear in any other situation. Like
ultra couture.
Yeah, like ethereal snow, ice king and queen. There's regal elements, tiara and crown that have been specially kind of like affixed, and elements that are like actively kind of like glowing and rising and falling with like you're not sure exactly what elements are at play here. Andy, you do get the vibe of some like kind of like magic accents in some of like the pieces that you are actively wearing, or at least that are being applied in some way, which is interesting in this situation. And yeah, Andy is very much decked out in kind of like a full like ice-based queen regal kind of armor type situation in these various different pieces. And DeCrane is more of the kind of like following that very militaristic kind of style that he presents already, but like no shirt underneath. So just making sure that is the ripped Brad Pitt is on full display beneath like a very ornate kind of fur-lined like long coat that is like tailed out, and also bears like all kinds of additional accoutrement of like gem and crystalline elements and lots of metals, lots of silvers and things like that. And you both look ridiculous, but Savine sits back and looks wonderful. I thank you both for your time. To our audience, thoughts, criticisms, if any?
No criticisms.
None.
Splendid.
You are a miracle worker.
You're a good host.
It is true. I thank you for your time and for both of your participation in this little endeavor. The Order of Majesty, it will recognize me once more, and across the board, you both should be recognized for the natural-born gifts in which you can display as prominently as you should.
Okay.
Here.
Sure. What's the schedule? What requirements do we have beyond this?
Tomorrow, sundown stage at the Gilded Stage, south side of High Street, College of Performance and Artistry.
Oh. Okay. Sure.
At the co-op?
Never heard it called that before. But I suppose it'd be Copa. But the sundown, I need both of you there. At least an hour to get into hair, makeup, and our beautiful attire here. Performance will go on TBD as of tomorrow evening. We will find out the order in which we are being presented. It is a runway show. We will run through some of the specifics tomorrow on that presentation element. Today, let's just focus on this. Get comfortable, have a good night's rest. No caffeine, no food, only water, and even a little bit. Not even that much, just a little bit. If you can spare it, not any of it. I want to see every line. Both of you should just go to bed now, if I'm honest. Just sleep the whole time.
We'll take them to bed right now.
Perfect. Any other bits that you need to know? No. I will send my assistants to find you outside. When you arrive, they will be at the ready, and if they do not find you within seconds of you arriving, they will be fired. And we will decide how things go upon our inevitable success. You will have what we have agreed on. Your particular thread and fabric will be yours.
Thank you. How many people are going to be at this thing? Is it like exclusive? Is it like room for two bunnies to hang out?
Oh, you are more than welcome, of course, to accompany. We may have to call you the assistants and aides to our performers, which you will be. It is an exclusive gala event. I should mention after the performance, typically it is standard for our performers to mingle within the crowd and be a part of the aftermath. And it's typically will run until 3 or 4 in the morning, late into the evening. We'll have all manner of food and drink and other things. So yes, plan for that. I'm sure we can sneak the 2 aides here in through the event. Exclusive is one way to put it, but it is also one of the largest events of the season. So exclusive and I don't know. The stage will hold a couple thousand people at least.
Oh wow, a couple thousand. Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no more than 10.
Okay.
Well, time for bed.
I don't think I've ever seen that many people in one spot.
You're going to tomorrow, and they're all going to see you.
Oh, great.
10,000 eyes.
Yeah, I'm sick
Actually, 20,000 eyes.
Give or take a few.
Yeah, actually, so maybe 16, I don't know. You should be asleep.
She instantly kind of, okay, bed. Go, both of you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Good night, Mr. Sabine.
Good night.
Love her. So cool.
She's very cool. She's very intimidating. I kind of feel like I can't say no to her.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But she knows what she's talking about, so I wouldn't say no to her anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, the stuff is really... The outfit wasn't comfortable, so it's not really my vibe, because I like to be able to move and things. But, obviously, very talented.
DeCrane, you looked absolutely yoked, as the kids say.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you're feeling about this. I feel like I might have drawn you into something. You thank you for going along with it.
I don't know much about this.
Neither do I.
Will go along if it's for the better of the group.
Definitely.
Thank
This
you.
makes me feel so much better.
Yeah. It's not us.
I wonder if, who will be there? If it's like fancy people.
Definitely maybe it's for the high street, so like probably a lot of the fanciest people here.
Do you think I'd be mad? Because I think we were supposed to like not run in the same circles.
I think it's gonna be fine. I think when Ludomir said keep a low profile, he wasn't considering how cool of an opportunity this would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not like he'll be there,
Well, I'm literally just doing this for the thread and so I was told I'd have to walk with fancy clothes on. This seems like a bit more of something than that. But hey, it'll make a great story.
It's also super convenient because the spooky song has origins at that college.
Yeah, and if we don't have to be there till sundown, then you can go early. We can try to talk to some people. We can get into some spaces if we're like the talent. Maybe we get places we couldn't otherwise.
Or we could wait to do it while you guys are on stage, culminating in some sort of crescendo of two separate moments happening at the same time.
I feel like we're just gonna go ask questions and maybe like get a copy of the play. We could do that in the afternoon if there's confrontation. I mean, we could start there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Think for yourself.
You need to be asleep though. I don't know what you're still doing talking about ideas.
It's like 3 p.m.
Yeah, I'm actually really hungry, and when she said we can't eat, I was pretty
I
upset.
mean, you guys can eat.
Oh, great, cool.
Oh, thank goodness.
I'm still gonna eat.
Let's go get some food.
With the little bit of anticipation of tomorrow's fun activities, you are able to get dinner, get a good night's rest, and prepare for the following day. If there's anything else we want to try and accomplish before then, we can do so. Or if any other preparations going into tomorrow with whatever you may encounter at the college prior to the endeavor, or for that for the performance itself, we can sort that out with great ease next time.
I am so excited. What is happening?
Oh my gosh.
I am.
When I mentioned, I want silken thread, and you're like, I have something for that. This is not what I was imagining. I was like, you're gonna let me pay it off and like work and do some embroidery.
I had the idea that I would have you work it off, but just in a very different thing.